welcome you to the heart of the Hoosier State in the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana at Lucas Oil Stadium. Just as we were ready for air, it was the Colts emerging from the locker room to great fanfare here in Indy. They're ready to go as the Colts get set to match up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Indianapolis. This is taken at his 4th. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that 1 interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver? While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
To throw on second down is Luck. Room here to run. And right away he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead.
This is similar to baseball where you walk the leadoff hitter and you don't expect him to come around and score. Almost impossible. Anytime a defense has to defend a short field, you usually end up seeing the result we saw, giving up points.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Second down here after the incomplete pass. And Luck hands this one off to Gore. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On 1st and 10, Luck. And the reception made by Dante Moncrief. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks. What? You really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now on second down, this is Gore. And that play is blown up. losing yardage back at the 35. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him. It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. And Vinatieri's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. This is Bell. It finds some open field here. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. Bell is so good at that. He just catches so many passes near the line of scrimmage. In fact, the unique stat line for him last year, he had more yards after the catch than total receiving yards from the line of scrimmage on the season.
That doesn't even sound real, but when you analyze his game, you understand why a stat like that can occur. His ability to catch the ball, be elusive, and also strong enough to break tackles, that allows him to gain all that extra yardage. Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Xavier Grimble, his second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Another carry now for Gore. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Here's Gore, and he is going to lose yardage here. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Doyle. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. 4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
The first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City, and it's the Browns out to the early advantage. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. A screen to Bell. It's a room to maneuver. Bell sheds him off. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
They'll indeed go for it with Roethlisberger. And they're going to try the screen. It's complete. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They'll go back to the ground with Bell. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. That's complete. It's Bell. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
And when you have a guy in the backfield who can catch the football, you don't just use him strictly for checkdowns or dump-offs. You make him part of the primary passing attack, because what you're trying to do is get him into open field and then let him make people miss and advance the football.
And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. This is caught, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Roethlisberger to his big target, James, all 6-7 of him for a Steeler first down. They'll try and run it in with Bell. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Got to give a lot of credit to the defensive front there. They held their ground, pretty much stoned them on that play, and ended up creating a lost yardage play.
Yeah, drop them from the 1 back to the 2. And that'll be incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. 3rd and 2. Now Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Jesse James with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Coming up later tonight, a reminder, one of the games we circled coming into the season, the Patriots at the Broncos. These two certainly have played some memorable games in recent years.
They sure have.
And tomorrow night, we wrap up Week 10 with the Dolphins heading up to visit the Panthers. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about a different style of running in order to get this guy going.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. And here's carry number 10 for Frank Gore. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What do I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel
trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darius Butler. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
This is such a good read defensively. They know that this offense is going to try to get the ball to their playmaker in space. So what do? They crowd him and send bodies at him. And this one winds up being intercepted.
On first down, it's Gore. And an alley to run. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
He had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up the first.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Ryan Shazier coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Able to get 9 out of that pitch and catch, but now 3rd and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. And the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And he's not going to get there. They tackle him at the 2. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
I'm just going to go ahead and call it, partner. You could smell the desperation in that fake, couldn't you? Down big. They had to try something. No one was fooled.
I think you're exactly right. With this deficit, though, go ahead and give it a shot. Didn't work out. In the end, I guess it doesn't hurt him too much. And that one results in 35 yards. And connection number 1 there on the game, Roethlisberger to Boney Tony. Antonio Brown, that's what his high school teammates used to call him.
I wonder what they would call him now.
More muscular, more successful Boney Tony Brown, right?
I'd say you're probably right. It may be all of that. They'll still call him Boney Tony, but Ben Roethlisberger calls him my number 1 target.
And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now Ben on 3rd and long. Hard throw, incomplete.
Well, we quit counting yardage on that one, didn't we? That was truly 3rd and a mile, wasn't it?
It was. I thought they might just go underneath, but they didn't. They wanted to get the first down there.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the huge chunk unsuccessfully. I'm with you. I would have tried to take some yardage just to gain some field position.
On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. T.Y. Hilton deep for the Colts. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And our focus now shifts to Frank Gore. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call him?
Looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29, and they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different colored jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a...
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Martavis Bryant with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play call. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Luck on first down. There he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 23 yards on the play.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout. But let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston. Then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all. He was looking for Jack Doyle that time. That'll bring up second down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout call as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. 3rd and 2, Luck. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. We'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, we'll see if I can get through this without being skipped as we welcome you to our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Colts haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Steelers have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. down from inside the 10. Roethlisberger's going to complete the pass, and he capped off the long drive with a touchdown. The lead now at 11. Steelers have it early in the second. Coverage breaks down here, and he won't be brought down until he makes it to the 28-yard line. Steelers have it later on the drive. It's Roethlisberger to his big tight end. That's Jesse James. And he caps the drive with a score. 1st and 10. Here the defense will come up with the pick. Stafford's the one who makes the pick to give a boost to his defense. Offense on the field now after the INT. Roethlisberger connecting here with Martavis Bryant. And this play will go for 6 as the blowout continues.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Play clock winding down. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 37. It's a big play. Roethlisberger to Brown. 45 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son, and then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
Now a first down carry by Bell. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
And how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense. Big play for the defense.
Calling an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but it wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these the sequence of plays we want to run, these things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now a first down throw, Locke. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think there he had to come off of his primary receiver in a big way, just trying to get it to a secondary guy, unable to get that play completed.
Checked down, but didn't even have enough time to do that. Incomplete. Luck gives to his running back, Gore. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gore. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 4th down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes...
Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first.
Well, they needed a jump start. They needed energy. They needed anything positive to get them going in this game. And that fake there, I think, has to provide that spark.
Yeah, with that deficit, you might have been anticipating defensively. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Bud Dupree in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out.
Gore hit. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. He's now lost fumbles in back-to-back weeks. And, of course, you remember last week's game, such a close affair. That hurt him.
Hurt him in a big way, and it is so key to take care of the ball because, remember, the team making the fewest mistakes usually wins the game. So you got to take care of the ball, lock it away, high and tight, as you often hear from running back coaches. 4 points of pressure, fingertips, forearm, biceps, sternum, or chest. Put it away.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger. Rush coming, and he's taken down. John Simon not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And a nice gain of 21 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
And they have to make sure that the receiver got both feet down in bounds as well.
Second down now after the incompletion. To throw again is Roethlisberger. Now they go screen. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jonathan Bostic in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. That's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
And he's got Rodgers. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels...
And it'll be intercepted. It's the rookie out of Florida, Quincy Wilson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys, let's go. Come on, capitalize on this one.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On 2nd down, here's Locke. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The Colts on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Locke. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
It was 4th and 2, and somehow he managed to get 3. Great leg drive and plenty of determination.
And some room to roam now. And he slides to avoid the hit. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. Offense in a good spot here, 2nd and 2. From the gun, here's Locke. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Cameron Hayward able to use that strength and get him for a loss of 2.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Here's Luck. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And down inside the 15 he goes. And the seemingly endless drive continues. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on second down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the under a heavy rush, and down he goes. T.J. Watt in there to drop him, and that will go into the books as the first sack of his young NFL career.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. Now the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Chuck Pagano decides to go. It doesn't work out. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. On the carry, it's Davis. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to make it fourth down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Here's Dorsett. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. On first down, it's Love. Over the middle, complete. It's Doyle. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Doyle. Look at the big man rumble. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jack Doyle, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to cut into this lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Just 2 yards to go here on second down for the offense. Roethlisberger. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Oh, Roethlisberger going to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
On third down, it's Davis. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Niall Davis, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns, running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone. We saw evidence of that on that play.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Here comes Philip Dorsett now to return it. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And the Colts getting ready to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. On 2nd and 10, Locke. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Phillip Dorsett, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here's Locke. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Doyle. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Now it's Locke. The 20 to the right side to Aiken. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Here's Locke. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. T.J. Watt in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. Here's Luck now on 2nd down. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Luck. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. One last throw here for Luck. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Steelers, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Colts, it was a game they really needed as they drop back to 4-6. And they'll get a late bye next week, which might be coming at the right time. And they'll be back in action in Week 12. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. So long, everybody.